no surprise that everything, producer, writer, director, Hollywood, yes man Alex Kurtzman touches, is crap, what is a surprise is the media's reaction to him. Hello everyone, I am Mecha Random 42, the one, the only, the original, your favorite YouTube consumer advocate, Harpy. And the shadow ban is a real thing that YouTubers do often struggle with. So if you do like my content, YouTube isn't going to deliver it to you. You're just going to have to, and I hate saying this, they want you to make sure you go to your notifications and I know you already have. You've done it a million times. YouTube just needs to stop shadow banning us. But check our channels, my channel, any channel you want to watch on a daily basis. Click the notification, share the videos, talk about us in other people's streams if those are the rules and they are allowed to do so. Shout us out. I try and shout out channels all the time that I watch. You know, like Creepy Little Book, for example. One of my favorites that I watch all the time. My buddy Pete runs that channel. Great paranormal channel. What is not great, however, is the way that Hollywood keeps utilizing the same writer, producer, the people who are only really around just because they say yes to the people higher up. They can pass the buck to somebody else. It's never their fault. It's never their responsibility. And shucksy doodle, we'll try better next time to get a show. How many shows do these people have to ruin? How many franchises? How many things do they have to fail at before they stop getting hired? And I'm talking to you, Alex Kurtzman. Alex I is a writer Kurtzman. Alex Kurtzman, who has been a thorn in my backside since probably the 90s. He was involved in some of the most annoying episodes of Hercules and Xena. There's an episode of Hercules where he's throwing a pig in the air, and then it's exactly the same episode as Xena where she's throwing a baby in the air. He's attached to both of those, and I remember them being absolutely ridiculous stories that they were copy and pasted from each other, like we wouldn't notice, If this is my first memory of somebody's attachment to something, and it's basically copying another show that you're on, then maybe you're not very good at what you do. And gee, I would love to have that position. But you know what? Life isn't fair. You're not going to get somebody like me, even though I'm supposed to have all the preferential treatment in the world based on superficial aspects of me. That's not true. That is not true. I cannot waltz my patootie into CBS and tell them, let me run a show. Let me figure out storylines. Let me be in charge. Because that wouldn't happen. No matter what, you gotta play the hand you're dealt. Sometimes you're going to be allowed to fail continuously at something, and sometimes everybody is going to kiss your backside and defend you because you are the right guy in the right place at the right time that said yes to the right boss or the right movie star. Like in the case of The Mummy with Tom Cruise. That Mummy, where Tom Cruise is the one that got to take the responsibility and the blame of that movie failing, not Alex Kurtzman, because he just did what Tom Cruise said. Same thing with Star Trek. Oh, he's just doing what the bigwigs say. Same thing with everything he's involved with. He's just doing what he's asked to. He is the studio notes guy. And it is nice to finally see he's getting what he deserves. At least from the mainstream media. Now, this isn't the first time a project he's had attachment to has been ripped a new one by Entertainment Weekly. The last time I saw this was with Picard. Picard Season 1. They could not stand it. I did a video on this. They weren't defending it. They couldn't defend Picard. Because Picard was terrible. It was terrible. It is objectively bad. It is not just that I expected so little coming in off of a couple of seasons of Discovery that by the time we finally saw Picard, we knew what we were going to get into. We knew what we were getting into. So now, Alex Kurtzman is back ruining a new franchise. He is dipping his balls in the Silence of the Lambs universe. And it's not better. It's not any better from what we're told. I'm not going to watch it. I am refusing to watch it. I'm going to read you a review of this because I did my homework a little bit and knew who was in charge and knew who was behind the scenes. And let's face it, I'm not the hugest Silence of the Lambs person anyway, but it is nice to see that the mainstream media is actually ripping him a new one. We're just going to skip down because if you really want the backstory, it's a, prequel to, who cares? Who cares? It's related to the Silence of the Lambs. It's just a cash grab off of the name of it. CBS did find room in its soul for the gleefully irreverent evil, and if you're not aiming to be transgressively weird with a Silence of the Lambs sequel, well, why bother? Oh, and if you really want the backstory on the whole Silence of the Lambs stuff, definitely read through I'm not going to read through the whole article. It's a long one. It tells you what's going on in it. I won't recommend it just because, no, I'm not going to watch it either. And here's where people are like, but you're not, I don't care. I don't care. I sat through Star Trek. I sat through Batwoman, which has nothing to do with Kurtzman. I sat through Doctor Who. Mostly I sat through Star Trek and had people send angry mobs to my channel to flag it. I have had every negative experience under the sun with the Star Trek universe, thanks to the Alex Kurtzman culture. So no, I'm not going to reward him by even giving it a benefit of the doubt. I'm not going to give it a pity watch. It is not worth my time, and the only reason I'm making this video is because they're finally ripping him a new one the way we have been ever since Star Trek. So what does the Entertainment Weekly writer say here? Clarice's other co-creator is Alex Kurtzman, a practiced IP hack. Known for Transformers, various Star Treks, various failed Star Trek, various bad Star Treks. That is what I focus on mostly on this channel, is the bad TV, the bad Star Treks, the bad franchises. They come back with these little wokier-than-thou messages of these producers on their high horse telling you that the only reason you don't like it is because you're an istophobe, not the fact that it's just shit. It's just shit. A failed mummy, and the worst Spider-Man. That's a lot of money made off of other people's originality. Can we institute some kind of limit with this stuff? Like maybe a person can only work in 4 pre-existing universes per decade. No, you need to stop. Like, I think the second one they fail at should be the one. You really shouldn't be allowed to keep doing these reboots and remakes. I get it. If that's all your claim to fame is just latching yourself and suckling on the talent of other people. That is what we call a hack. And we knew he was a hack in the 90s with the Hercules and Xena shit. His participation makes Clarice feel even more like a dastardly act of franchise capitalism. I believe you. If you told me Kurtzman was planning a Buffalo Bill prequel series or a throwback procedural where Clarice Starling's dad solves 60s crimes, that's what he does. He just takes something that other people have created and pour their heart and soul into, and then he's just like, well, let's do a prequel. Can it star a black woman? Let's do what can we do to have our diversity wokey points? What can we do for our platform for activism? Kimmer! Because those are the buzzwords that the little cliques in Hollywood like to use to excuse the fact that they're some of the worst people.
Sheer fucking hubris.
In the history of worst people. I mean, there's a reason why they have Me Too and hashtag this and that in Hollywood. There's a reason why they want to preach to you about how istophobic you are, because they don't understand that people live in the real world. That the people who are in Hollywood are very much as horrible as they perceive the rest of us to be. Not all of them, but when you get some of these big name people who like to use, this is why I go into Star Trek so much, they like to use people for diversity marketing tools. You're no more than a purse puppy, you're no more than a token. They continue on this article, when you remove the comedy and the horror, when you get the luscious fantasy and brutal reality wrong, what's left for your star to chew on? Not much. Breeze must be the new actress playing Clarice, uncomfortably juggles a tricky accent with the need to know everything immediately while simultaneously struggling through a lifetime of flashbacks. Oh, Lord. This sounds terrible. No, I'm not watching this. But it is nice that they're going to give him his comeuppance from time to time. I just get so tired of this crap. They're giving it a D+. I wouldn't give anything. I won't watch anything else of his. Unless it has, like, specifically Star Trek on it, because that one's personal, and I want my revenge, and I want them to actually listen to me. I do, and I get tired of nobody ever actually listening when we have suggestions, because we're not just here to bitch and piss and moan with our videos when we're trying to fix Star Trek. I'm not just here just complaining for something like Star Trek or Star Wars. No, I am here flat out telling Anybody in the investors of CBS, Paramount, Viacom, any of those people in the boardrooms, any of the people putting their actual money into this, you're going to lose money. This guy doesn't know what the crap he's doing. He is copy and pasting stuff made by people smarter and more talented than he is. And he's basically selling you shit on a shingle. That's all it is. And I don't even think that's the right proper terminology, but you know what? That's all you get when we're dealing with Alex Kurtzman. So I'm just tired. I'm done with it. I don't care what the show's about. I'm not going to watch it because I know it's going to be bad. Everything Alex Kurtzman touches has been bad. I don't think he's made a good thing yet. At all. At all. His name has not, and if anything was even watchable, it certainly wasn't because of him. So I think I've ranted about this long enough. We're just basically flogging a dead horse at this point. I am MechaRandom42. Stop hiring Alex Kurtzman! Thanks for watching. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button. And if you want to see more, don't forget to subscribe. See you in the next video. Bye!
If the movie stinks, just don't go. What am I saying?